Hey, what's going on? It's Friday, but it's not any old Friday. It's the first Friday of November. It's the Friday when we're going to change the clocks back. I haven't done that in years because in Japan we don't do that. So that's going to be new. But it's also it's also the Friday after the day I released my album Moon Rock. Yay. I'm not going to talk too much about it because actually, maybe I should. Because if I don't talk about it, who will? All right, 5 seconds, more or less. All right, so I dropped the album, as you know, Moonrock, as you know. It was about all the summer stuff and all that stuff, as you know, because, I post here. So actually, you already know what the content is because I've been talking about it, walking up and down. So when the camera goes off when I was doing my walks, then I went into album mode. As you already know this stuff. Maybe some things you didn't know. All right. The album took 2 days to record. Like as you know, because I remember saying I'm gonna record the album, and I did. I recorded maybe four in the basement, four in the attic, maybe one sitting in this couch, and maybe one in my house. I don't know if that equals 10, but you get the gist of it. I wrote most of the lyrics in cars, in parking lots at Giant and Wegmans, if you know those stores, walking on the walks as you see me, and two were from coming back from the therapist. I shot all the videos last week, as you know, as I was making my video, like I'm gonna shoot a video, and that's what I did. It was nice out, so yeah. In theory, there's no rush, but in theory, I could have made the whole album in like a week. But after I recorded it, I wanted to let it sit and just whatever. And then I got a little sick, or my throat. It seems like shouting in the basement wasn't good for me. Maybe the air, the mold, I don't know. But either way, after I recorded down there, I just didn't have. So a week or two went by, and then I edited the rough mix, and then I listened to it, and then a week or two went by, and then I started working on the mastering. Blah blah. All right, the song Lucy. The reason why that is my favorite song of the whole album. One, I just love that beat. It's just the way the horns come in, and it's just nice. Two, it just has a positive message, even though the whole album is kind of angsty. I don't know. It is what it is, right? But that one, you really couldn't. I mean, people haters gonna hate, but there's nothing to hate about it. Like lyric wise, like when I break it down, rhyme scheme, the message, the transitions between the like it's groundbreaking. It's different. And then I recorded that whole thing in one take. Just the truth is rhyming peace, one take. And then I also there's no ad libs or dubs or any backing or anything. It's just one take. The other songs on the album, they're one take because I'm old school. If I'm gonna write it and recite it, I want to do it in one take. You gotta have your breath control. But the other ones, I did punch in some words. Like there's one line that says, "It wasn't like you riding for me different bike paths." That works within the concept of what I'm trying to say. But I thought it would be better if it wasn't like you're riding with me different bike paths. So I had to go back in there and with me. And there was one line that I did say it correctly, but again, one take. So by the time I get to the end of them, you could hear the breath and that things change up because a couple of them were freestyle. Because when I go, yes, I'm that great, and then I just kept freestyling because. But I said don't I don't want to live my life in a box. Don't live your life in a box. Then I rather something something than live your life in a box, but it sounded like I want to live my life in a box, and that's not the imagery I wanted. So I punched in not. So it's I want to live my life not in a box, and it just wasn't that smooth, and it was bothering me. And I'm pretty sure no one's gonna be like that. Not it's bothering me. It might bother you now if you listen to it. What else? Um, yeah. It was under budget or in budget. I didn't have a budget, but I didn't. Well, I did do this, which I guess it's just my penchant to do this. So the album, I already have all the materials to make songs. I got my recording and for my everything I have I already own. I got the cameras, I got the mics, I got the whatever. But right at the end, I'm like, oh wow, they upgraded the mastering program that I never use, but I used it. Like, oh, they updated, so let me get the newer version, and I just charge it to the album. But that makes no sense. What I should have done, because after I bought it and I found out that it wasn't the same as they did like an Apple thing. Like you bought it thinking you're going to get the little touch button, but then there's no touch button. It's like I should have researched this a little better because you can't return software. You can't return Apple products. So I got it, and whatever. I'm pretty sure it is a little bit better because of it. The mastering, whatever. That's another thing. The mastering, in my opinion, is way better, or the mixing is better than other albums, except SMF because I was mixed by the super producer Cheddar, and he did a great job with that one. But the other ones, they were mixed as they were mixed by me, hit or miss. But this one, I think overall, because after I mix it, I spent the next couple of days going up and down the highway, taking notes, mental notes, and then sitting in the parking lot and writing the notes and coming home and tweaking, which I never did that before. This is also an album of, I mean, lately I've been going in this direction. Just one takes, no hooks, cutting right at the end of it so it's very succinct. Like even the fade out, because I like the music, so so I'm like, because I did some research when I was reading. It's like there's three ways to cut a song. Just a cut, I mean, for radio, but technically I'm not radio, and technically this isn't for the masses. This is for the people who fuck with Matt. So y'all know what I do, the long fade outs. Yeah. This is also the first time I did a pre-release. It was a short pre-release, and it was more because the album when I uploaded to I use CD Baby. That's who I use. I was thinking of DistroKid and all the other ones, but CD Baby is what I use, so whatever. So I put live or life, so it'd have been Moonrock rhyming life, and then they hit me up after 5 days because it takes about 5 days before it goes out into the world streaming things. They're like, yeah, you can't have life in there because it's not in your whatever. And I'm like, what? I'm like, so if I remove it, it's going to take another 5 days. Like, it could. So I was really stressed. I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to release it now. Because some people don't like Bandcamp. Some people don't use it. A lot of people, they might buy it from Bandcamp, but they never download it, which I do appreciate it because more or less you're just supporting. Hey, I support you. And you can stream it from Bandcamp. But some people, they got to hear it on Spotify or Amazon or Android, Google things. So this album's going, like, I just checked. It's not there yet. But as soon as it is, yeah. All right, so that's it. That's all I got to say about the album. I might make one more video and I'm on to the next. When I came downstairs, I was looking at my Christmas album. It's going to be crazy. I'm thinking of, it's just going to be crazy. But it's not going to, it's just going to be crazy. All right, so I got this random Christmas thing. I bought it like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I had the idea. I just, and I was just listening to it. It says Christmas around the world. It has different countries, including Japan. And then it has the little kids singing like, "Oh Santa," but in the native language of whatever country. And then it's just gonna be crazy because I never did this before, and I'm gonna try to get it in. I mean, I've been pretty good, consistent But yeah, so that's it. I'll update you later. Um, let's see what else is new. I hate driving, man. I'll be driving, right? Driving. I was driving yesterday, listening to my audiobook. Now I'm listening to. Is my phone down here? I don't remember. Uh, let's see here. Audio. Yo, so let me play it. Let me show you before I forget. All right, I don't know. I'm using a different camera, so I don't know if it will come up. But it's called "Music Is History." Questlove, he's the author and narrator. He does this thing. Apparently, he's 10 years older than me. Anyway, but he's just talking about the history of music, and it's so crazy. As I always feel when I listen to these books, like you know how we had all these string of. It seems like they're just back to back. Um, a brutality, black people dying, or the first black person to do this. But it's nothing new because he's going year by year. So he'd be like, in 1975, so and so was the first black such and such for this position. And then he might say, and in this year, cops brutally murdered such and such. Like this is just an ongoing cycle. Nothing's really new. And then he's talking about it now, so he peppers in it's 2021 stuff. So it's really interesting. It has the music backdrop. It talks about how like it is his. Oh man. So you know how I'm always talking about I don't really know anybody who reads the books I read, and then someone's like, I'm gonna download that book, and I'll be like, yes, but I mean, on my behalf, I don't reach out and be like, so how was the book? Because I don't want to put people on the spot. Because in real life, this happens. I'll be walking around. Let's say I got this book. I haven't started it yet, but let's say I'm walking around with this book, and someone's like, "Oh, you're doing music composition. I'm gonna get that book too." And I'm like, "Yes." And then I finish the book, and I'm like, "Yo, so what do you think of the book?" And they're like, "I didn't get it yet." It kind of kills me. It's like, could you imagine right now if, the Phillies are doing their thing? Let me check. I hope they won. Not that I care, but I'm Pennsylvania. All right, let's see here. No, we lost. Is it? Is it? Is there 6 games or five? The World Series game five. Oh, okay. I guess there's one. I don't know. See, someone's gonna be like, "You're from Pennsylvania and you don't know." Yeah, I don't know. But man, I just lost my thought. Philadelphia. It's out. Can't remember. It'll come back. Oh. My point was, if you went to a baseball game and you're the only one sitting there, or if your whole family or your work, like everywhere you went, nobody cared about the game, and you come in there, yeah, they're winning, and they're like, and you're still watching baseball. Now this is unrealistic because whatever. But just imagine that's how I feel. I finish a book and I come in, yeah, and it's like I can't read books. Like I went to my nephew's football game. I don't watch football, but when I was there, I'm like trying to and I'm trying to ask questions. I'm trying to learn. People I just can't read books. Like you think a book is like holy water. They're like, but anyway, to each their own. But anyway, I found someone on the beat making thing I do every Friday, and he read the Dilla book, and we had like a Zoom chat thing with all the members. It was pretty hectic. I don't like doing those things. I'm a more of a me to this, not a bunch of faces on the screen and everyone's kind of talking at the same time. But when we were talking, I'm like, yeah, Dilla said, and he comes on there and he holds up the Dilla book, and I'm like, yeah. Actually, I wasn't like, yeah. Well, he told me he read it before. He read it and he did the audiobook. So I guess he's a DJ. And he hit me up and we're just talking. He's like, I read this book. I read this book. Like, yeah, I'm reading the Questlove book. He's like, get out of here. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm reading it too. And I was like, it's the little things. Well, it's not. That's a big thing because then now we could talk. But yeah, so it's like that. Same thing with the album. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about that, album, but same with this, man. There's no one so far. I mean, maybe I'll run into him, but it was kind of a solo thing. I wrote it, recorded it, shot it, edited it, put it up. There was no one else in that process, which is not great because if you had another ear, they're like, you should do that. You got to switch the style up. And if they hate, then let them hate and let the money pile up. I don't have one of those people in my circle. So it's very me centric, which, hit or miss. But even Prince, according to the book, had people kind of, because you know how Prince is, he did this and he did that and he's all, but according to Questlove, he was saying that there was other people in the mix that, they didn't really get to shine. He took the, I am the genius, but when they weren't in the project, when they weren't in the next album, it sounded different, according to Questlove. And that's why I like reading these books, because how would I know? I didn't listen to Prince. He wasn't, if it was Michael or Prince, I was more of a Michael guy. But, Prince did his thing. And the way he talks, Questlove, the way he talks about the music and how I just don't have that. Like, the only albums that I listened from front to back and then back to front would have been, or the only albums I purchased and did that would have been Sean Paul. This is back when they used to have $10 Fridays at Best Buy or whatever. I just go up there, get a bunch of stuff. So Sean Paul, the one with the We Be Clubbing, when he used to do reggae, dancehall. I think he does other stuff now. I don't know. Sean Paul with the dreads. But that's the other album. But the next album, Lauryn Hill. In the dark of my world. Psh, it's great stuff. Back when she used to sing and show up on time. Kanye West, the one with Mama. Not that's Poison Man, but any song with Mama. So Tupac, that was the first song. I'm like, all right, okay, Tupac, because up until that, didn't care. But that album, the one with B, or that era. So Common's album B, because Kanye was coming off his run or he was on his run, and then he produced Common's album. So I bought that one, listened to it front to back. The dude with the mask, I think he just passed last year, but the anniversary was this year. What's his name? Well, Gorillaz. So Gorillaz, I got theirs. Just on, again, it's in the bin, and I was just randomly picking up stuff. No, wait. Danger Mouse. I think that's the connection. Danger Mouse and the Gorillaz maybe were close enough, and then I forget, Doom. MF Doom. He was in Gorillaz, so I just bought his project, his album that was produced by don't kill me here. But so I listened to these albums back to front to back. I bought them. Maybe during the pirating era, I think I was just doing more movies or shows, or whatever. But I did get a lot of music, but I didn't listen to it because so much. That's how it is, You get a lot of. If you have a lot, you don't listen to it. Where Questlove, he has one record or 1 8-track, so he was listening to it. Whereas if you're in the car, you got the radio, you got your. But I'm my brain is firing. I'm getting ahead of myself and stuff. Yeah, listening to albums. So I don't really listen to albums like that. And Jay-Z, I bought the Black Album. Didn't no. I bought the his first one, Reasonable Doubt. Wasn't a fan of it. Like 22, like the one any song that was a single because I would have heard it. I like the Black Album. No, I didn't get the Black Album. I like the songs that were singles that I heard, but the one that was based on a movie with Washington, was it Denzel? Yeah, I think it was Denzel. Yeah, Denzel, where he was a gangster. So I like that one. I like the Comeback album where he's like, "You people like the old Hove. You want the old Hove? Go see the old Hove. Come out the thing like Superman." Like that one. I listened. Now this is streaming error. I listened to 444. It was like a one-time listen. I listened to it. Kendrick. Anyways, you get my point. I'm not really a listen to music type of guy, even though I make music. But this is where your other people come in. It's like, yo, I love this song, and you have to listen to it. And then it kind of, okay, I could do something like that. Yeah. So yeah, I don't have that. I'm just me making me music and hoping that it resonates. And this album, I know I said I was going to talk about the album, but it just came out. Let me have this. I think this album resonated with some people, at least from the comments that I got. Um, People liked it, which makes me feel good. You don't want to put out work and no one likes it. It makes you feel bad. But what's worse than people saying, I don't like it, is people ignoring it, which is what I usually get. I put out project and people they don't like it, they don't hate it, they just don't bother, which makes you kind of feel like poop. But then in the great context of stuff, the CD Baby, the company I use to put my music on the iTunes, they're like, we're getting about 10,000 submissions every day. So there's a lot of music coming up that we don't know about because it's just going up. And you see a lot of the famous people, they attach whatever to scandal or some kind of media buzz or something to kind of push it because it works. I don't have any of that. All I have is I'm a dude, make music, but I'm working on it. The Christmas album maybe will catch in the Christmas momentum and maybe go viral if that's still a thing. I don't know. We might be over viral. For 2 years we were COVID, which was a virus. Was it a virus? I think it was a virus. I guess it's a virus. Coronavirus. So maybe we're viraled out. Like shit happens now and it's just like I mean it's relevant. When Biggie and Tupac died, it was news for like songs. People were making songs. Dilla, like there was a period where I mean people die every day for all types of reasons, but in that era, like people are still making tribute songs and shouting them out after. But now it seems like every other day someone just dying, and it's just like okay, on to the next. Like it's just weird like that. What else? What else? Hopefully this is recording. I don't know. I'm using my 360 cam, and it only had 30 minutes of thing. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up because I don't want this to not go. 'Cause I gotta upload it before I leave the house. All right, so the last session I had at my therapist, because someone said something like, "Man, that first song, I never heard nobody diss a therapist." I'm not dissing any therapist. I think in general the profession is great. People need to talk to someone, and I talked to mine. I had other ones which I didn't like, and that's kind of directed at all. But last week she said, or Thursday, Wednesday, she said, she's like, "So Matthew, do you love your dad?" And my like, why you ask? Because we had this conversation before. Like, yes, I already told you that. Does your dad love you? I'm like, yes. Why are we talking about this? And then I told her I just dropped the album. I'm just kind of like, forget about all you people, blah, 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 blah. And she's just like, do you not have connection with people? And I'm like, it, it, I don't know. Yes, I connect with people. And no, I don't connect with people. some people are unconnectable, or we just don't match up. So I started saying, it's like a transactional. It's like, oh, Matthew, you can't say. You, I wonder if you live in a world of transactions, how does that make you feel? And I'm like, I'm not gonna. I was using political references because it comes on the TV all the time in my house. Like, this dude's transactional. He's doing okay. This billionaire. Not to say I want to be those people, but most people, hey, a lot of people, a great population. I can't quantify it, maybe qualify it. But people go through their lives doing transactions. You go to the store, you pay the guy the money, or you pay the woman the money, you get your thing, you might say goodbye, you may say thank you, they may look up from their iPhone or whatever they're doing to say whatever, or they might not. Transactional. I go to my school, I push the little buzzer to come in. I'm looking at her. She's just looking down. I'm looking at her. She's looking down. I'm looking at her. She's looking down. She has a stick, like a broomstick, and she goes over. She pushes the button. The door opens. I come in. She goes back to looking down. Am I supposed to, like, man, she's so disrespectful and rude to me? That's her thing, man. I wish her the best. Yesterday, I'm driving on the highway. Driving, man. Car stops. And I was cruising, because everyone's cruising, because people like to be up your ass. Car stops. I'm like, I'm pushing the brake. Luckily, I just know not to slam the brake, because then you would. But I start turning over a little bit because I'm going to smack into the front of the car of me, and then the other car goes behind me. It would have been bad. Like, my heart started. And as I pass, because you had to go around them, so as I go around, I'm just hoping, I hope they're safe. I have no ill will. I wish they wouldn't have stopped there. I wish I would have been more attentive, although I'm looking forward and they just. But transactional, I'm telling you the story. Because then her point was, you always say you don't care, but you're talking about it. Now, she once said to me, well, even though it's this, it's not that, it's not black and white. I'm the worst person to ever talk about things of this nature because I don't think anything is what it is. I I only know what I know from the books I read, and the books I read, although I do pick out other books sometimes, like randomly, I was on a bus or a train in Japan, and some guy's like, you should read this book. So I read it. So this was outside the scope of what I normally would read. I usually read, if I come to your house and you have a book, can I read that? So, but usually if I'm buying it, it's either going to be recommended or very similar to my genre. But yeah, she just so I always say I'm not going to go at her at these things, but I think it's time, man. I think it's time. I'm going to do a little research and be like, so, the great philosopher, there got to be some philosopher, said that there got to be someone who agrees with, like, it's you could always find someone or something to support your argument to the point where it's like, well, yeah, but that's what I'm gonna get. Put her hammer up in the. Maybe I shouldn't do that again, but it's just annoying. She's like having me feel like there's something wrong with me. And maybe there is. And maybe that's why I go to a therapist. But my point was the same way I'm talking to you guys about all the stuff. I, I either I went for 30 minutes, which I think that's what happened, or it just stopped. We're going to assume that it just kept going. That's weird. All right, we'll see. But let me just in case it didn't do what I thought it did. So it is Friday. My album just released. This is going to be a shorter version, and I'm going to talk about other stuff. Hopefully, it connects. Because as I said, I'm using my 360 camera, which I love. They just came out with a new one. Hopefully, Santa will get it for me. But there is no Santa, so although I don't need it, although it's a better camera, has better features. it would be nice to have, but I got some other things to talk about. So my job, right? Job. The person who hired me for the job, they quit or got fired. Don't know. All I got because I was talking to the other people from the same company, and they're like, "Yeah, did you know so and so is no longer with the company?" I'm like, no. We didn't get an email. We didn't get a this. Because she hired me, and we talked about my dad, and she talked about her thing, and we were connecting, and this is where this transactional concept comes from. She could give two fucks about me and my situation. She just wanted me to be a body to get hired and do her thing, and it kind of hurts because this was me sharing with her what's going on in my life, and her fluffing about to make it. So she's gone. And then I found out at my school the principal is gone. She was fired. I seen the principal like the day before. She says, "Hey Matthew, how you doing?" That's how she talks. It's weird, but hey, to each their own. And I come in and the kids are like, "Yeah, she's gone." And one of the kids, his mom is a secretary, so he knows, and he's just like, "Yeah, she didn't get fired or she didn't quit." They're just gossiping. And then me being teacher, I had to come over and I said, "Listen, guys, don't gossip. Like, it's not gossip if it's true." Like, you guys are smart and clever. But nevertheless, because we had like a lady, like a counselor, a guidance counselor came in and was like, "Don't gossip." But they were right. It ain't gossip if it's true. But, so, and then my situation, like, I don't know if I talked about it, but I don't teach so much as I'm the custodian, the lunch guy in charge of the lunch, copy man. I teach class management, bathroom break person. Now, I didn't come in here like I'm going to be the new teacher and they're going to respect me and I'm going to get my PhD and this. I came in there, I need a job because I ain't work all summer and I got to pay my bills and blah, blah, blah. And this one's close enough. It is related to what I did in Japan, so it's a fit. And this woman who hired me seemed like a very nice person but yeah. So from 11 to 1:15, I I'm in the lunchroom walking around opening up milk bottles and opening up Oreo cookies. Now, some of these kids, they can do it themselves. You can't open up a pack of Oreo cookies. Just a pew. The milk may be difficult because they're young, like first graders. They don't know how to like. Which I don't remember anyone opening my milk when I was at maybe it's made differently. Maybe back in my day. One time a fifth grader, he's like, "Can you open up my bag of chips?" I said, "No. Go somewhere with that stuff." I got to tell little kids they can't go to the bathroom, which it's a mess because there's only sometimes it's only me and the whole cafeteria. So if I'm in the bathroom or standing outside the door, who's going to be watching them? So it's a logistic thing, but sometimes you got to go. And one little girl did go. Anyway, so I do that. I'm supposed to get a break from 1 to 1:30, but the teachers take advantage of us, so they'd be chilling in there till 1:15, and then I take my break for 15 minutes. Like, it's not a very nice environment. And then there's the teacher. She's been working for 2 years, and she doesn't know how to take care or manage the classroom. So the teacher's aide, she's a grandma, so she comes in there and she had to put on the grandma voice. "Listen, I ain't got time for this. You better get in your seats." And the kids just chunk. And the teacher's face, the teacher of the class, homeroom teacher, she just looks like she's gonna cry all the time. So I was asking her, so she just started? She's like, "Yeah, 2 years." "She got kids?" "No." It's like, she's been teaching how long? 2 years. Okay, I get it. I feel bad for her because basically she's the teacher because she actually taught in an actual school. She's just doing this like a part-time thing. So she got to be the teacher. We're part timers. We don't get all the other stuff. So she told the company, I want Wednesdays off. And it's kind of, if they don't give it to her, she's going to quit. I'm okay because, I get paid. The lunch ladies, yesterday, she's like, the other ladies want to know why you're so happy when you be out here. You always look so happy. It's not that I'm happy. It's just I get paid to stand here and open up milk carts, and the kids are cute. Even the fifth graders and sixth graders, they just cannot sit in their seats. Again, I don't remember standing up and walking around. Although we had detention and suspension, and they did used to make us stand on the wall. I don't know if we're not allowed to do that anymore, punishing kids. But there's no discipline. How? So I'm over here helping the little kids, and I look over there and I see them getting up, and I'm like, John! He looks up like a deer. I was getting napkins as he's walking in the opposite direction. It's kind of funny. I don't really care, but then their teachers are going to come out and start yelling, why can't you sit in your seat? And it looks like I'm letting them, but what am I supposed to do? Glue them to their seats? I would, but I don't think it's illegal. Legal. I think it's illegal. But yeah. But this was supposed to be a short video, but it seems to be longer as usual. But I just want to say again, thank you for, rocking with me. I appreciate it. You guys have been my therapist. My therapist is just the person for the title, but you guys. Um, Thank you for everyone who bought the album or looked at the album or reminded me Moon Rock over the summer or bought albums in the past. All of that, it means a lot to me because, although I make the music for myself, it's nice to share it and know that other people are vibing with it. So I appreciate it. And today's Bandcamp is this thing where on Bandcamp, it's Bandcamp Friday, the first Friday of the new month. If you buy an album, they give the creators 100% of it. So normally, most DSPs, unless it's your own website, your album's like $1, they're going to take 30 cents, so you get 70 cents. And then if it's going through PayPal, they're going to take like 10 cents, so you get like 60 cents. But Bandcamp, the website, where the links are, on Friday, they just give it to you 100%. It used to be free back in the day, but, overhead. They got to somehow pay for all that. But anyway, let me get some breakfast. I woke up at 4 this morning. Like, I'm trying to be productive. I didn't really do anything, though. Scrolled. All right. Peace.